The Word of God never changes, but churches have to adapt with the times and grow and change, or they're not going to continue to be able to reach people. And so it's cool to be part of a church that has continued to do that.
Words from a member of the Pastor's Council at the Parkway Church of God in Salisbury, the church marking a major milestone this year, having served the community for a century.
Yeah, DelmarvaLife's Katie Zarrilli visited the church to hear their story and find out what their Centennial celebration will look like.
What started as a small prayer meeting is now a church with between 300 and 400 members that sits on Edison Street in Salisbury. Parkway Church of God was started back in 1919 by an 18-year-old man named Paul Walker.
He birthed what was a part of the Pentecostal revival, so it became a very expressive worship experience, an experiential connection with God that brought people to a place where they recognized and acknowledged the gifts of the Spirit.
That was the start of a Pentecostal movement here on the Eastern Shore. This church in particular was first held in someone's home. They then built a church in the 1920s in the Pine Ridge area, which no longer stands. They built this building in the 1950s under the leadership of Dr. Raymond Crowley. Lead pastor Greg Morris says seeing all it's come to be would affirm the faith of the late Paul Walker.
He would probably say, well, I knew that God was going to make something great happen.
Looking around the sanctuary, it's not hard to see that this is a church that welcomes folks from all countries and cultures.
I am Haitian American, and wherever you are, wherever you sit, you are more likely to sit next to someone that is a different culture, not just American.
Centennial is the social media and worship director at Parkway. He's one of so many who've experienced real-life change from being part of this church.
I have learned how to just spiritually grow and grow my relationship with Christ and just be a man of God, the man of God I should be in the world.
And the church isn't just impacting the lives of folks who come through the doors on Sunday. They partner with numerous organizations to help serve both the community and the world.
We partnered with many of the local places that are already doing local missions as to not duplicate effort. We extend out into the state, and then through our various partnerships with different missionaries, that love extends beyond around the globe.
We believe that's the message of Christianity, that we are a people who represent Christ, who went out and touched the hurting of humanity. He said, I didn't come for those who are well, I came for those who were sick. And so when he spoke of that, he was not just talking about the physical aspects, but the spiritual aspects. And so we're just trying to touch people where they are and minister to them in a way that helps transform their life.
They believe that every moment is a mission. They welcome opportunities to love others and show them kindness.
If your heart's open, your eyes are open, there's always chances to serve people in need, small ways and big ways.
100 years of spreading messages like this one is an incredible accomplishment and one that should be celebrated. So that's exactly what they're doing. And they're doing so a few different ways. This Sunday, November 3rd, is their special Friends and Family Day. On the 4th, they'll hold a special prayer meeting. On the 6th, they're hosting a Songs Through the Decades night. And Sunday, the 10th, is their big Centennial celebration. Remember Paul Walker that I told you about earlier? The guy responsible for the church? His grandson, Dr. Mark Walker, will be at the church. Church leaders and members hope you are too.
It's a place of transformation. It's a place of love. It's a place where we enjoy life, and I think that they would be blessed by participating and be a part of this wonderful celebration.
It's natural to look to the future when celebrating the past. When thinking about the next 100 years, Pastor Greg has high hopes.
I see expanding beyond these walls, creating different campuses and impact that would influence our university, that would influence other areas of our community, and this becoming kind of a mission influence in the inner city and us making impact out in other areas. So we're growing and developing in that way.
Though he can't be certain of how the church will change, he knows their values will remain the same.
The friendliness, the atmosphere of love and connection, doesn't matter how they come, where they come from, where they've been, there's just a sense of openness and love that everybody is welcomed.
Here's to the end of one successful century and the beginning of what will very likely be another.
And Greg adds that at their celebration on the 10th, they'll be honoring a few longtime church members. If you're interested in learning more about the church or attending a service, we'll have the information on our website, DelmarvaLife.com. And Jimmy, Katie said that they were on Edison Street, but I think most people see it when they're going down Route 50, which is Salisbury Parkway,
Right.
which is probably where they got the name.
Parkway.
Yep.